So can you guys just iterate real quick? What is the exact offer?
Two offers. So core offer is a course, 12-week program. It's our Vibe Code Accelerator, $3,000. Course, coaching, and community is the value add.
Is it
It's not 12K.
12 weeks? Is it self-serve?
$3,000. And it's not, I mean, it's self-serve in terms of like you do the course at your own coaching.
You could do one-on-one coaching, weekly one-on-one coaching.
So when we took over the company in October, that was the core offering. Now, by the way, do you want to record this so you can get content?
I'm recording.
Oh, you're recording. Okay. Second offer, which is becoming much more popular as the market has shifted. It's a fast-growing space, vibe coding, is DFY, basically vibe code cleanup services. They're 80 to 90% of the way there. We come in and we get them launch ready. And a lot of times they just want us to maintain the app from then on. So initial CLV, initial ticket price is a lot less. It's like $800, but within that month, it's probably going to double or triple because they're like, all right, you earned my trust. Keep going. Just take it from here. What's up?
We gotta focus on the 3K. 800, it's too fickle to scale.
A lot of those people eventually pay way more than $3,000.
Yeah, but unreliable math doesn't scale. So the idea is a lot doesn't scale. That's a dangerous business. So it's like you need things to be standardized. So it's like $800 is great, but that's more of an upsell downsell. If there was a hard numerical path, like there needs to be hard accounting to scale. Because if the idea is a lot of those people, it's like that's awesome for the business, but like how many of those people? Is it a hard percentage? Like the accounting has to be guaranteed. And if we can't guarantee that accounting, then we have to focus on the 3K offer. But also you have to bend the offer towards the lead gen, not vice versa. So like the lead gen will explain to you what the offer will be, if that makes sense. Because it's like the lead gen will dictate the math, and like it'll be like, let's say like 800 is too low and unreliable. I know that for a fact that's not going to work at scale. So we're just going to put that to the side. The 3K offer can work.
It could be $1,000, by the way. So I said 800 because we would say $80 an hour. Minimum order price is 10 hours. But I can say minimum order is 10 hours at $100 an hour. Now it's $1,000.
Yeah. So that's the part. So like you have to do so much testing over the next few months where it's going to be like, where you have to create like a set accounting that's extremely predictable. So if it's 10 by 80, way too low. So it's to scale of ads. I'm sure you could do organic stuff and that'll work better. But like if you want to do ads, like anything below 5K, it starts trembling. Like you need a guaranteed $5,000 in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's just not going to scale well, if that makes sense. So it's like, it's $80. What's $5,000 divided by 80 is
what was it? 5 divided by 80?
Yeah.
Yeah. 5,000 divided by 80.
2.5 hours. So like if I were you, I would make like a mandatory 75 hours for ads. Well, I'm telling you what'll work with ads. I promise you $800 will not work for ads. The accounting gets too flimsy. The Excel data becomes too hard to scale. It's just too flimsy. It's not going to work. The 3K is way more robust. You have to be financially robust to scale with ads. X amount of money per customer times X, right? You spend X amount of money on ads, you get Y back. It has to bricks on bricks. You know what I'm trying to say? When you have like flimsy $800, it's not going to scale. That's not real business, right? So let's focus. So we want to keep mindful that we definitely, for ads, we definitely want a higher hourly minimum. So we don't have to make any drastic actions right now. It's just, we want to meditate calmly and we want to slowly test. We know $800 minimum is too low for paid media. How do we structure things in a way where we can test something more robust long term? So should we require 75 hours? Can we test that? What kind of people buy 75 hours? They're probably much more high income. What does that mean? Do we have to tailor the paid media strategy towards those people? Probably, yeah. So now you see how much bending you have to do. Now you have a very long-term experiment that's going to take months to play out. But also, not only is it a lead gen experiment, this is a fulfillment and operational issue. So now everything is weaved together. So now you have to make sure the operation side can fulfill what the ads want. So that's a whole thing you're going to put to the side.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'd also say, like, does this change with the fact that
our webinar, we're getting, what was our cost per lead? Oh yeah, it was $3.50 last week. Like it optimized.
Yes, after optimize, it was 3.64 cents.
Cool. Let's
Yeah,
do
and we
sorry.
had a lot of great people, 10 booked calls. No one has showed so far. That's the only thing.
We got to do this responsibly. Let's slow down. There's so much nuance in every number.
Yeah,
right?
the math is in your inbox.
Okay.
I wanted to just have it done for you via Claude.
Okay. So let's do this. So webinar number 1 results. Ambitious Lab is off to the races. 315 registrations. Explain to me exactly what a registration is.
Someone filled out the form. Someone saw the ad. I'll start from there. They saw the ad. They opted in, right? Because the ad says apply now or register now. Then they went to the landing page. They filled out their name, email. Is it phone number too?
Yes.
Phone.
Email, name, phone number, and there's the only thing they consume is the creative and the copy on the lander.
Yes.
Yeah.
What does the copy on the lander say?
Register for webinar, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, register for webinar that says what?
The webinar.
Let's build an AI app live.
Yeah.
Okay, register for an AI webinar that teaches you how to build an AI app. Is that right?
Yep.
Got it. Fantastic. And that is something very similar.
Say that one more time.
The creative is something very similar to that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's just me talking. I can send you a copy of the ad. It's me talking into a camera saying, have you always wanted to learn how to build your own app? Well, you can do that this month, X, Y, and Z.
Okay, cool. Do those, but before we spoke about like who's the main buyer of the 3K offer, explain to me that exact person.
Oh yeah. Can you speak to our ICPs? Because our ICP has evolved over the last 3 months. It's gone from a non-sophisticated buyer to a sophisticated buyer. Now it's someone who's a working professional, makes around 100K per year, self-starter. Rarely do we, almost never do. Already started building an app. They're 60 to 80% of the way there. And they want to do things the right way because they've started other businesses in the past. And, maybe they didn't lack knowledge, lack of execution. They want to do things the right way this time.
Cool. Everything you just said, is that in the copy and creative?
Yes. But we recently try something new. For example, the new SCP is a direct message for the marketer who know how to sell the products but haven't had products. So we said them so we could teach them and they could create something that they could sell to the user. So it's kind of new segment of user. So it's not just the who start building, but for the new audience.
Okay.
But it was just submit for maybe 2 days to start testing. So we haven't had any results yet. But yeah, we try to scale to find something new especially for method to find a different segment of users, not just the builders. Because previously we would just mention about the builders, no-touch founders, and something like that, like Eden explained.
Okay, I understand I understand what you're going for.
Everything top of funnel looked great compared to our existing ads. It looked great. Bottom of funnel, things aren't converting yet, but the numbers.
I disagree. I think this is the top of the funnel. I actually think.
Okay. What part of the funnel? Like,
here's what this creative is a brokey mag. So it's like it's a long-term game. So you don't know if they won't buy yet, but this is a magnet for broke. So you have a creative that's just funneling in bad leads.
So I'm thinking we need to target out. Do you make at least $100,000 a year, like in our webinar, in our call out? Oh yeah. So that new script may need to have a direct call out.
Yeah. You know those ads, if you make 150K a year, I'll get you jacked.
Yeah.
That I created that. You probably know this, right?
Yeah.
So like all those ads are like, if you make 100K a year, I started that 6 years. That works. Do it. So what I would test calmly. So I would test a campaign where the beginning of the ad goes something along the lines of this. If you make at least 100K a year and you're a serious entrepreneur who knows exactly what business they want to build, they know exactly what product they want to build, and they just need somebody to make it turn into real life so it makes money immediately, sign up for a webinar. That's a completely different human being. Versus this ad is like, hey, are you fucking broke? And like, it's like, hey, are you fucking broke and bad at business? You want something free? Oh my God, this is so free. Free. I barely use the word free. If you look at like my ad how we reconnected, Ethan, it's like never ever do free. Ever. There's always has to be an exchange. Like human beings need exchanges or else they won't be respectful. So it's like, so there needs to be some sort of exchange. So it's like, I need to record this content. I need free content, blah, blah, blah. So it's like the trade-off is you give me your personal private business information and I give you free high-level strategy. That's reasonable, right? Because you lose something. You have skin in the game. You feel pain. People need to feel pain. There's no pain here. This is just, hey, get free ice cream. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so I would make an ad something along the lines of, don't start with 100K. Let's start with like 75. If you make at least 75K a year and you have an existing business and you just need to build software to help that existing business make more money, XYZ. This is not for people who are pre-idea, who are pre-business model. This is only for people who already are registered and incorporated, already generating revenue, and are looking to create software for that existing company. Watch the difference in attendees. It's going to be insane, right? So we're going to make a creative that reflects that. Going to be a completely different human being. The cost per lead, well, who cares? You know what I'm saying? At least they'll buy. So that we're targeting existing business people who make at least 75K a year. Huge difference. Because the other people, they don't have a business yet. They're fucking idiots. And they're just like, oh my God, I'm going to start Uber for basketball. And like idiots, right? They don't understand anything. But like now we're targeting people. I own a flower shop. I have a flower shop and I need an app for my flower shop company. Okay. Those people are serious. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, we're going to target existing business owners that do at least 75K a year, very high quality. Then the lander has to reflect that. You have to scare off brokies a bit, right? So it's like Ethan always messages me or like he'll just message me and I'll be like, Ethan, no, on the call, Ethan. You know what I mean? You have to be comfortable with slotting people away. You don't have to be a jerk, be tough. You have to be prepared for that. People are going to be like, you fucking da-da-da-da. Shut up, idiots. Don't be fazed by them, okay? So one, you're going to get hate comments. Two, they're going to go to the lander and we got to scare people away. The lander is not about getting leads. Getting leads is cheap and easy. Anyone can do it. The lander is about getting rid of bad leads. Huge difference, right? So we're getting rid of bad leads. So we got the name, phone, email. We need another required field, business. Not what is your business, what is your current operating business website. So you ask him for a website where the field requires a website. And you could probably vibe code a field where if they don't have an actual real URL, it rejects the opt-in. You know, so you can probably vibe code or code that real quick. So you're going to be name, email, phone number, and then you're going to have a field that says, what's your existing business? And so what's that going to do? That's going to scare away a lot of people. You can also say something along the lines of, what is your current operating business? Parentheses, again, we do not accept people without a current running business. That'll scare a lot of people off. And now the pixel and the targeting is going to migrate and pivot towards far higher quality people. You're getting people who make decent, good money, and you're going to get people who are business people because they're in the game. They have urgency. They're in the business and they need help now, right? Because they have a business and they need to pay their bills and they got to do this. Versus you have some idiot who's pre-business. They don't got no employees, nothing. Those people are the worst. You need people who have obligations because people with obligations pay. They fucking speed up, right? They're urgent. The one, I would test a webinar funnel with creative that targets the right people and gets rid of the wrong people, and a lander that targets the right people and gets rid of the wrong people. Your cost per lead will be way higher, but the quality is going to skyrocket. Now, after the webinar, you got all these people. What did these people do?
What do you mean? Were they?
Yeah. So post webinar, what happens? What's the transaction?
Submit the meeting. Yes, meeting.
They need to book a sales call, and nobody booked a call?
No, 10 people booked, actually 11 people booked a call. Our email and SMS campaign is going out with the recording link and more call to actions to book a call. We'll probably get
12 to 15 book calls. Out of those calls, like, did they show up or do we have any data on that yet?
3 booked calls so far this morning. No one showed. I have another one at 1:30. Most likely also won't show.
Okay, so what we want to do is you want to, there's so many things you have to test. Nothing I say is law and nothing I say will 100% work. You want to iterate, you want to test all these things and assume failure. You're going to assume failure, but 1 out of the 10 things will work and that's all you need. So you want to pre-prime them. So on the webinar lander, you want to say something about what's your existing business, but you also want to say something along the lines of, after the webinar, we require somebody to book a call for X, Y, and Z. So get rid of the ego shock, right? Because now you hype them up on the webinar, they book a call, they calm down, that's it, you lost them. So one, you can pre-train, or you don't have to do that on the opt-in, you understand? Or you could do that in the first email or SMS they get. They have to know there's a call waiting for them after. So they get the ego shock early. Right now, their emotions go up and then they collapse. But you want to start nurturing their emotions here so they're more stable and they're prepared, right? What else you can do, you have to shift the webinar model where you just sell them right when the webinar, because that's when their emotions are high. Because clearly waiting does not work. So maybe you have to test structuring a pitch where they buy something right away, right after the webinar, because that's when their emotions are super high. So maybe you do this, maybe you do that, but clearly what you're doing is not working. So you have to optimize accordingly. Maybe you don't change anything and these new leads you're going to get are going to be so good they're going to buy. You don't know. You understand? So it's like you guys have a lot of work to do for months on it. This is not a short-term issue. It takes a week or two just to get the data. Number two, why I don't like webinars are really popular right now because there's a lot of content and data that manipulated Ethan. And it said, webinars are the highest converting. No, that's not a scientific fact. That's just content. Just some marketer created that. And guess what marketer made that? Some guy who sells webinars. So a guy that sells webinars created content on the internet that webinars are the highest converting. And then people read it and they're like, oh, I got to do what? Like, no, webinars are not the highest converting. Otherwise, every single business on the planet will do this. Does every business do it? Absolutely. Right? So one, I don't like webinars because it's too slow. Number two, the average lead quality is really low. Because think about the type of human being that does a webinar. I'm a successful guy. I'm not doing a webinar. You go fuck yourself. You know what I'm saying? I would never join a webinar. I'm booking a call. I'm finding the CEO on LinkedIn. I'm getting whatever I need. And if I like it, I buy it because I'm a serious guy. So when you have a webinar, you're automatically optimizing for non-serious people, right? That's number two. And number three, it's very hard to control because a webinar is very top of the funnel and you're just trying to get as many leads as possible. And it's hard to control the type of lead you get versus the funnels I like are extremely controlled. My leads are exactly the person I want. And I just run an ad, I get a lead, I sell them, run an ad, get a lead, I sell them. And then I get data quickly. And then I iterate versus a webinar. It's fuck it. It's going to take 2 weeks just to get data. Oh my God, 3 weeks sometimes because you have to do the ad. Then you have to wait 3 to 4 days for the calls. It's fucking. So it's like you have to understand media buying is not Facebook ad done. Bro, you guys have 3 to 6 months of testing that you need to execute. So it's tough. But right now, I don't think you have a playable ad model that scales. I would focus more on booking calls and I would focus more on like a more traditional sales model and then like figure out how to get the perfect lead. Once you figure out the perfect lead, then you do webinars because like you use the data and information from the regular funnel to create a webinar that's congruent and scalable. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you guys need to get data faster. Figure out a way to get fast sales data. Close.
All right, so let's pause there. So your opinions on webinars are well documented. The other thing that we're doing, so we have some, what is it, like 10% of our ad spend goes to webinars, right? Something like that. So the other 80 to 90%, let's talk about that because it's Aleem's ads that are like evergreen and doing well. I see my ads in my newsfeed all the time. So I know we're constantly testing the founder marketer call out we just did, right? We did a bunch of other ones too. How are those doing? You know, I think we turned them off for a little bit because we're like, we're just wasting money. Max, last time on our call, he said, you were like, don't do that. There's a specific strategy to test new creatives against.
So I have to end the call. I have another meeting, but everything I said just applied the same logic to the other phone. That's it. Like everything I said a while about a webinar, take it and apply the same exact logic to the regular schedule a call phone. Same thing, right? You just test it. You haven't even, you don't have a strong top of the funnel. You're not even getting the right people in the door. Forget about everything else. For the schedule, for the webinar might be a good idea. I don't know. You have to test right. So fix the ads plus the people coming in the door, and then worry about everything else. But the same logic I told you for webinar, apply for the schedule. Guys, I have another audit. Hopefully this helped. Listen, you have plenty of work to do. Okay. And so hopefully that helps. All right. I got to go to another call.
All right.
Okay.
See you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.